Next, let's prepare journal entries for government-wide financial statement. And government-wide financial statement follow accrual accounting, which is the same as what we did for the companies. And there's no journal entry for transaction A and B. Transaction A, which is just the purchase order, and so when we follow accrual accounting, and then we do not record anything for purchase order because nothing has been received. Then transaction B is an internal transaction, which is the service provided from one department to another department, and from the government point of view, there is no journal entry necessary for this transaction. Alright, so then transaction C, 11 million bond was issued to build a new road. So when we write a journal entry for government-wide financial statement, we need to, if there's a journal entry, then we need to specify whether it is a governmental activity or whether it's a business type activity. So this is the governmental activity, and journal entry is debit the cash and credit bonds payable, 11 million. And this journal entry will be the same as what we used to do, right? So we recognize this long-term liability bonds payable. And then transaction D, cash of 140,000 is transferred from the general fund to provide permanent financing for a municipal swimming pool that will be viewed as an enterprise fund. Okay, so here we are going to transfer out cash from the government activity for the business type activity. So first is to debit transfer out and credit cash 140,000. This is the governmental activity because the transfer out from the governmental fund. And then because transfer into the enterprise fund, which is for the business type activity, and then journal entry is debit the cash and then credit transfer in 140,000. Transaction E, the truck order in A is received at actual cost of 96,000. Payment is not made at this time. Alright, so then when they receive the truck, and journal entry is to debit equipment truck and then credit accounts payable. This is a governmental activity, and we recognize this long-term assets or capital asset equipment. Then transaction F, cash of 32,000 is transferred from the general fund to the capital project fund because both belongs to the governmental fund. Both belong to government fund. In other words, both are the government activities, and then there's no journal entry because one fund has a transfer in, the other fund has a transfer out, and they can cancel out with each other, and they both are government activities. Okay, so there's no entry. And then transaction G, a state grant of 30,000 is received that must be spent to promote recycling, or debit cash and credit unearned revenue, which is the government activity. So this is the same way. So this journal entry is the same as what we did for the fund financial statement. And then the last journal entry is the transaction is the first 5,000 of the state grant received in G is appropriately expended. So first we recognize that 5,000 unearned revenue as the grant revenue, and then debit the cash and debit expense and credit cash when we use them. So so you need to know. So here when we prepare journal entries for the government-wide financial statement, we debit expense. Well, when we prepare the journal entries for the fund financial statement, this is the expenditures. That's the difference.